because there's a lot of content that we want to talk about and kind of go over. I'm just going to start it off, and I'm going to screen share so this can kind of be visual. And like I said, my internet lags, so just bear with me. Try to just see what I'm showing you. And you can always go and look at my Instagram as well. But I just kind of want to talk about what your Instagram should look like when someone comes to your page for the first time. So here is my Instagram. And when you come to it, you're going to see a picture of, my family. So that's, me and JB and Austin. A lot of times you'll hear people say, pictures should probably be of just you. And I would agree with that sometimes. So I have had it just me right now. I have it just as my family. I'm trying to really connect with moms right now. So I like having my profile show that I have a child, so that when another mom sees my profile, that they connect with me in that sense. But it should definitely have your face in it. So if your profile picture does not have your face in it, if it's a picture of your dog, your house, or anything else besides you, I would go ahead and switch that right away. Make sure it's a very clear picture of you, or like you can see me and my family, but that's a professional photo. It's not, something that is grainy. It's very clear. So you want to make sure that your profile picture is visually appealing and it has your face in it. So those are the two things that I would make sure of. And then your bio. So I've just recently changed my bio, and actually I'm constantly just changing it. And I think that's okay to constantly be changing your bio, but it should definitely talk about you and like what your Instagram is about. So for me, when somebody comes to my profile, they're going to clearly see that I teach women how to create an income online. I used to be in corporate PR, and now I'm a 6-figure work at home mom. And I'm going to be sharing real life mom moments. And if you come to my profile, if you're interested in working with me, just send me a message. So it's very clear, concise of what what you're going to get on my Instagram. If you're just starting out, this probably wouldn't be something that I would put on there. I would actually, if you're just building your Instagram, I would make it more about just you and your interests. So like before I had this, it just said, I was a mom, I love coffee. I'm going to go to, I was looking at Taylor's earlier. I'm going to go to hers, and I liked how she's had her set up, and Erin has her set up a little bit differently too, just so you can kind of see different ones. She's a retired nurse, a top media mentor. So you can see, like, when somebody comes to that, they're going to be like, oh, well, what is that? And they're going to be interested. She loves Amazon. She's going to be connecting with other people that love Amazon. It's very positive and inspiring. And so you're going to see that when you come to her profile, like, oh, that's cool. Like, it's fun. You're not going to see that it says It Works distributor anywhere in there. And it's not that we don't want people to know that we're a part of It Works. That's not it at all. We just know that people generally are skeptical in anything. And even if it said car salesman on there, like, people are skeptical of car salesmen. People are just skeptical in general. So we want them to get to know us before they associate us with It Works. So Instagram is really all about making sure that you are the brand first, so that somebody connects with you, and then they're like, oh, you do that? And then you can talk more about it because they've gotten to know you, they trust you, and they like you. I'm going to go over to Erin's bio, and then I'll go to Gabby, so you guys can kind of, if you want to take screenshots of this, you can kind of see. So I would just think about like 5 different things about you. Like, you're going to see Erin says IVF mom. She's into fitness, Ray Dunn. So she's going to be connecting with anybody who loves Ray Dunn. They're going to be going to her profile and like, oh, I love Ray Dunn too. Think about things that that make up you. So if you're a dog mom, a cat mom, you love hiking. My friend Ariane loves dumbbells. Like, she has that on her profile. Like, think about what is going to connect you with other people. And then, what was Gabby's again? Flipping Gabs, that's right. Okay. I was like, it's something cute. Hopefully I can find her. I don't know if she's private. There she is. She's a Hot Mess Express. That's so cute. Like, people are going to come to that and be like, oh, yeah, I'm a hot mess too over here. And then she has a positive quote on there. So people are going to connect with that. So and if you kind of scroll through our photos, you're not going to see like green, black, and bling. Like you're literally going to see who we are. You're going to see our faces. It's going to be cohesive. So a lot of us use presets. Presets you can buy for like $5 on Etsy. What it does is it puts a filter on all of your photos so that they all look the same. So aesthetically, your Instagram should be, I love how Gabby has these different quotes. I haven't really ever looked at hers, but I love how she has these quotes in here. So you can see like it all looks cohesive and it's like somebody that you would want to follow. And so I'm going to go back through and show you some more, but you have to think like, if I was coming to, somebody's page, is this somebody that I would want to follow? Is it visually appealing? Are my photos clear, crisp, bright? So that's what you have to think about when you're putting up content on Instagram. And honestly, like I only put up one really high quality, genuine, authentic post a day on my feed on Instagram. And sometimes it's every other day. So you're not going to see me posting like 6 to 9 times on my feed. That's really where your stories are. Your stories are where people are going to, I think I see something. People are going to get to, yes, a preset helps filter the same. I'll go over that in just a second and I'll show you kind of where you can look for that stuff at. But you're going to see that, I forgot what I was saying, but cohesively, everything is going to look the same. It's going to show your photos going to be clear, crisp, bright, eye-catching. You have to make it so people want to follow you. They feel a connection when they come to your page. If it has like, and it works like black, green, and bling photo and this and that, they already are turned off. So then they're not going to follow you. So you're also not going to see a whole lot of like me promoting heavy on like before and afters in my feed either. Like I just don't do that. That's where my stories, that's where I'm going to put my before and afters in stories so that when people come to my page, they're going to my stories and they're going to see the before and afters. That's where I really feel like stories are where people really get to know like the genuine, authentic you. They get to see like who you really are. It's a great place for you to like talk to the camera. So you'll see on a lot of my stories, I make sure that I'm doing face to camera video, and I know she's on this training, so I'm just going to call her out right now. Somebody who is really awesome at this is Rachel Jones. If you follow Rachel Jones, you're going to see her face on the camera and the stories all the time. And that's a great thing because she's connecting with her followers. They're getting to know her. Sorry, I tickled my throat. They're getting to know her. They're getting to know who she is. And they're falling in love with her because they see her face and they know who she is, even if they've never met her. So stories are a really great place to, really show who you are, put your face on the camera. And an example of this might be like, if you're shopping at TJ Maxx or the mall or wherever and you see a pair of shoes, put your camera on your face and be like, hey, so I am shopping right now and I can't decide between these shoes or that shoes. And then, show the shoes and then ask your followers to, decide what shoes for you. And you're probably thinking, what does that have to do with signing a loyal customer or distributor? That's building a relationship with your followers. It's building that connection with them so that they learn to love you and like you. And so then when you do pull out the video of you showing how to make your keto coffee, they want it because they've been following you and they like you and they trust you. So there has to be a mix. I think I have some, I'm going to see I don't pull up stories on my desktop that often. Oh, but you can see, if you pull up my stories right now, I went and did some photo shoot planning with one of my friends today. And I did just a quick video of us talking about the photo shoot. And then, just did some like things afterwards. And then if you go through it all, you're going to see that there's keto coffee post at the end with a video of me making my keto coffee. So something simple that you can do every single morning on your stories is show how you're making your keto coffee, show how you're making your celery juice. Those things are super, super important because video marketing is huge right now. It's bigger than just photos. I think Erin's going to talk on Instagram TV. But I just wanted to kind of show stories because that is so, like, if you don't have something on your stories every day, you've got to find something to put on, even if it's just so random, like just you laying in bed and like you're like, oh, I'm getting ready to go to sleep. Good night, Instagram world. Stories are huge. I'm going to pass this off because I cannot talk right now for some reason. But I'm going to pass it off to Gabby and let her kind of talk about some of the topics that she wanted to go over. I know she wanted to talk about adding, posting on her feed and stories. So that'll kind of go off of like what I've been talking about. So Gabby, I'm going to find you and unmute you. Hang on.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
What's up, y'all? I'm so excited to be on here, and Kayla, thank you so much for getting this set up. I am like so pumped because I grew my business on Instagram when I first started, and I've loved Instagram ever since. I joined in February of 2018. So if y'all don't know who I am, my name's Gabby. I'm a triple diamond with this business. I've been in for about a year and a half. And I, like my Instagram says, I am a hot mess express. But I know that Instagram is like so hot right now. And I'm so excited that we're doing this training. So I'm just going to fire off like the things that I love to do and what I feel like I've mastered for working my Instagram. You guys, I still work a full-time job. And so Instagram is like a amazing way to build your network and build it fast because it's not like Facebook. Facebook's like way more intimate and people are like making sure that they're only adding people that they know and all this other stuff. But like Instagram is so great because you can grow your network so fast and start creating relationships on like a massive scale. Okay. So that's the first thing that I'm going to talk about is adding to your network. So you guys can see, like, I don't have thousands of followers. So like if you're on here and your Instagram only has like, I don't know, I started off with like literally 1,500 followers, not even. And I still don't have that many. And I'm working on it every single day, and that's something that I'm focusing on right now. But adding to my network is so important because I want new people looking at my stories and looking at my feed and all these other things. And so when I'm adding you guys, I'm looking for people that have something similar to me that they're going to connect with me right away. Like, I was in a sorority in college. I am from a small town in Indiana. I'm from Chicago. Like, I live downtown Chicago, and this market right now that I'm in, and I do, I add people by location. And so if you go to your Instagram, and this is just like bomb for me and would be bomb for anybody, because if you're from like a similar area, like that's so amazing because you can talk about that little boutique on the corner, or you can talk about your favorite like fair that just came into town, or the softball tournament that's happening around the corner. And so when I go to add, I go to the search page in Instagram and you click on places. So all the way to the right-hand side, you see places and it says near current location, and you just click on that. And you guys, like, so I live right across the street from Navy Pier. And so everybody's always tagging Navy Pier all day long, whether they're visitors or whether they're here permanently. And so now, like, I can look and see today who is at Navy Pier, who tagged Navy Pier, and obviously like they are in love with Chicago. Like, I can go and follow them and comment on their stuff and say that I live here. So excited. What are you doing this weekend in the city? Are you traveling? Like, there's all of these things that, first of all, I can add them. They're going to see that I live here. They love Chicago. And then also like actually create a real relationship with them instead of adding everybody and their mom from all of the different like explore page from. And you guys, like, you know, our explore page gets kind of cray. Like, I know that mine like has literally everything under the sun, from food to fashion to sports to everything. And so why I'm trying to build, first of all, I'm trying to build my local network a lot, just because that's just something that I'm really passionate about is building a local team here in Chicago. But that is just like so good as far as like adding people to your network. And you guys, I do not go a day without adding at least 100 people to my Instagram network a day. Like, that is a non-negotiable for me, and it should be a non-negotiable for you guys because it takes 5 minutes. And you're going to get those followed back. I keep my profile on public. I've gone between private and public. Right now I'm on public because I've been using hashtags a lot. But that is just something that is a super easy way to be able to build your network. Also, if you are wanting to expand your team in Florida or California or Canada or Australia, you guys using that geography piece is a huge advantage to Instagram. So I love being able to do that as far as adding people. The next thing that I want to kind of roll into is posting on your feed and posting on your stories. So I've kind of played around with Instagram as far as when am I posting, how much am I posting. I literally eat, sleep, breathe Alyssa Marie's trainings on Instagram because she's Instagram guru. But she says that, and Tiffany Herr has kind of preached the same thing as far as posting on your actual wall. So like what your profile looks like. I only post twice a day. And I'm starting to become like a little bit less on my actual page because the algorithm is starting to pick up that I'm doing this as a pattern of when I'm posting in the morning and when I'm posting in the evening, as far as my inspirational quote in the morning and my lifestyle posts either in the late afternoon or the evening. And I'm getting less interaction on my page. And that is no bueno. Okay. So the more that you are so patterned, Instagram identifies you not necessarily as a bot, but it understands that you're trying to work your algorithm to your advantage to be able to market yourself on Instagram. So I would highly recommend like trying different times of the day on different days, just to see like where that works for you. But as you can see, like I have the tiled pattern. I love black and white. It makes my page super bright. The first ever training I did was actually ran by Erin, and she was like, you want your page like super bright and super white and clean, and you want to just be using filters and all this stuff. And I have literally done that ever since the first day that I joined this business. And so make sure that you are, if you want to get presets, you guys, presets are amazing. You can actually download Lightroom if you don't want to pay for presets, and you can actually play with those filters on there and save them, so your pictures will look the same every single time. So Lightroom is an amazing free app that you can use to really brighten up your pictures. But posting on my feed, you guys, I am consistent. I am talking about my life. I am talking about the business, and I am being an inspirational follow to somebody new that is joining my page. And I can't tell you how many people reach out to me every single day that is like, gosh, I always look forward to like seeing your inspirational quotes on my timeline. Thank you so much for being so consistent and posting that. Like that made my day. And like, that is what I'm trying to do. Like, I'm not just doing this for shits and gigs, excuse my French. Like, I'm literally doing this to create that positive energy on people's page. So I am making an impact on them, and I am somebody that they remember every single day when they're logging on to Instagram. Okay. The second thing that I wanted to go into is stories, you guys. If you go to my story, there will be inspirational, colorful quotes on there. There will be, I use the celery juice every single morning. I use the keto coffee and chocolate greens every single morning. I will never go a day without posting about it because I freaking love our products. And that's how loyal customers come to me, and I don't have to come to them. I literally had somebody come to me today, and they ordered the celery, the super reds, and the super greens today because they see the shit all over my story all the time. So like you say, and I start my morning super early. As you can see, I'm making my keto coffee 30 minutes after I took the celery juice, and it's not even 6 a.m. But that is like part of my strategy for who I want to recruit, because I want the early risers. I want the hustlers. I want the people that are waking up in the morning and hating their life going to work, but like they see me still doing this as I'm going throughout my morning. And so I post about my life. I post my actual my story on here in Instagram story form, which is, you guys, I just use the app Over and Unfold, which those are free as well. But it's pictures of me. Instagram loves seeing your face, no matter if it's on stories or on your actual page. And so that will boost your algorithm as well. And I'm in Chicago. So I'm always like taking videos of me like on my walks in the morning, walking to work, on the river, things that people like want to see. But it's actually just my life. Like I'm just letting people into my life through these little windows of snippets of videos, and stories on my story. And so I have at least 10 stories on my story every single day. It boosts your algorithm, and it has something for people to really click quickly through, because 95% of people, when they have 5 minutes, they go to Instagram and they go straight to their stories. They do not scroll their timeline. Okay. So that is like a fun fact. I just learned that like the other day. And so you always want to have stories on people's timelines, instead of like staying so consistent on your page. Having stories is like where you need to be living. And so it's kind of to that point, and I'll run through this really quick. Interacting, how I get my interacting done, you guys, like I said, I only have like really small pockets of 10 minutes of time throughout my day because I sell technology downtown Chicago and we don't really have a lot of downtime. And so I interact through stories. I still comment, I still like on my scroll hole, right? But it's so much faster to be able to go into your stories and just click through. And you never want to swipe. You always want to click, because that increases your algorithm. You guys, I literally went from about 200 people to 300 people viewing my stories. And then I started changing up to where I was literally clicking through every single story, no matter what. And now I have at least 500 to 600 people viewing my story every single day. And that's because I'm clicking through their stories. Okay. So I'm swiping up, I'm typing in the comments like, oh my God, that I love that song, or I love those jeans, or oh my God, your dog is so cute, and all this stuff. And that is also an amazing way to interact very quickly on Instagram when you have small pockets of time. And the last thing that I'm going to go over, because I know that we have about half an hour left, and we have 2 rock stars on here that I want you guys to hear from. But you guys, how I keep track of my top 10 potentials on Instagram. You guys, this has literally changed the game for me, because we find people that we follow, right? And you're like, oh my God, this girl or this guy would be so freaking good at this business, and you want to keep track of them, right? You don't want them to get stuck in your algorithm and you'll never see their stuff ever again. And so you're going to go to your Instagram and you're going to find your top 10 person, right? You're going to find your prospect that you could literally see yourself becoming best friends with. And you're going to go to their profile, and where it says, hold up. So where it says following, you're going to click that down arrow. So it pops up with that little like drop down box. And then it says notifications, y'all. You can literally set up notifications for, just like when people like your photos and stuff, you will get notifications. You can turn them on when they post. So when they post on their physical feed, or when they put a story up on their freaking Instagram story. Like, what? Like, that's insane. Kayla, I don't know if you can actually do it on your desktop. But you guys, like, I'll get a notification that, like, this girl, Lauren, that I've been following for months now, I'm kind of obsessed with her, and she will join my team eventually. She just won't do it right now. I follow this girl, Lauren, and I'm obsessed with her. Her page is so amazing. Her energy is great. Like, I know she needs this. And every time she posts, I get a notification, and I literally, it's like a race. And I like go, and I'm the first one to like her stuff and comment on her picture, or go and like look at her story. And I make her feel like she's my number one priority. And she is for me, because I know how much like this opportunity could change her life. but Instagram helps me stay on top of her and like stay on top of her her activity and her posts and just making her feel so special. So, but that's all that I have. I love Instagram. You guys like don't hate on the Instagram game. Facebook is trying to stop our hustle. And I think that this is just like a really awesome way for us to balance both platforms and really like rock this thing. And so, that's kind of how I do it.
I love it. And I wanted to touch on the stories one more time because honestly, you guys, stories, like, they are just so important. And like Gabby said, people are clicking on those more than they're going through and scrolling through the feed. And so it also, when say you post some stories in the morning. So then as soon as you post your story, you go to the front of, post on your stories, you go to the front of the top of the thing. I don't know what it's called. So you go to the front of the stories feed. Okay. And then let's say you post again at noon. Then you go back up to the front because you posted again. And then if you post in the afternoon, again, you're going to go shuffle back up to the front. And then if you post in the evening, you're going to shuffle back up to the front. So don't try to like post, like if you have a real, like all these stories that you're going to post today, don't do them all at once. Do them throughout the day so that you keep shuffling back up to the front. So that's just a quick tip that I wanted to, because a lot of times we pre-plan stuff and we're like, oh, I got it all laid out. I know what I'm going to do today. But try to, if you have time in your day, to do it like periodically so that you shuffle back up to the front. Okay, I'm going to go over to Taylor. Taylor gets like 500 likes on every single photo she puts up. So she's going to tell us how she runs her Instagram and go over maybe some things that Gabby didn't touch on. So Taylor, I think you can unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yay, awesome. Do you care if I share my phone screen?
No, do you want me to? Yeah, I'll take this off screen share. Hang on.
Okay, that way it'll be easy. Okay, let's see if we can see this. All right, can you guys see my phone okay? Just shake some heads. Yeah, okay, cool. So I kind of wanted to cover a little bit about messaging on Instagram and how I keep track of all of my potentials and how I stay consistent with my follow-ups. So let's talk about the collections tab first. So on your Instagram, and yours might look different, I have a business Instagram account. It doesn't really matter if you have a business or a personal. This is just a personal preference for me because I kind of like seeing the insights, and I have a business account on Facebook. So my business, so it might look a little different. But when you click on the side and you click saved, so this is where you can create collections. And so I have like a dream business partner. So this is where I put like my top 10 people that I want to really keep up and interact with. You can just save their pictures to this collection. I have a potential distributor collections tab. I have a potential customer. And then I have just some other like quotes. When I save quotes, I just put them all in these little files. So how you add people to these collection tabs. So when you're talking to someone, they tell you, I'm interested in the business or I'm interested in the products. You go to their profile and you pick one of their pictures. And this girl actually just messaged me back and she's interested in the business. So when I click down here, the little bookmark, you're going to hit save to collection, and then you just pick whatever collection you want to add them to. And so that way, you know, when you're talking to people, because Instagram, it's so easy for people to get lost in the sauce through your inbox. And so if you're not writing down names, this is just another really easy way to save people so you don't lose track of your potentials. And then when I go to follow up with people, all I do is go to that save fact to all those people that are in those saved collections. So let's talk about messaging on Instagram. Okay, this is something that I've always messaged. I'm someone who I don't like not message and sign a million people like some people do. I always start conversations, and usually I like to start off with what I call a positive vibe message. Like all my team, Kelsey's team, they know all about the positive vibe message. But I've been doing this for years, and it feels good sending it. 2, people love receiving it. And 3, I always get good interactions back after starting this conversation this way. And so some of them I switch up, some of it's different. But so this one says, happy Monday, girl. You are super gorgeous and I love your page. Just wanted to send some positive vibes your way. personally for me, if someone sent me that message, I would probably freaking die. I would be like, oh my gosh, that was so sweet. Like, what a kind human. Who is this person? I'm going to go look at their page, because it's just a friendly, genuine conversation message. And so, and most people react that way. So she just said, this just made my night. Thank you so much. And so this is kind of where I do my next part of the conversation either way. So I'll either look at their profile and ask them a question based off something that I see on their page. So a lot of times I'm looking for their occupation. I'm looking for if they have kids. I'm looking for something that I can ask them a question about. So if I respond with a question, usually I'll try to go into occupation. So that way, when they ask me, what do you do? I can tell them, I work full-time from social media. Have you ever heard of It Works Global? And then it goes into the conversation very smoothly. It's not pressured. It's not forced. It's super chill. If I don't ask a question and I'm in, I'm just trying to like cut to the chase, get to the point, I'll send this message. And I always get really good feedback from this message as well. And it just says, you're welcome. Blah, 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 blah. I was talking to her about her hair. And then, so this one, I was talking to her about her son, and I was telling her about her red hair and how like I loved it. It looked so good on her. And then she just was saying, like, responding back saying, thank you. Well, I didn't keep the conversation going. I stopped there. Okay. And what happened was she started following my story. She started seeing my posts. And then tonight she messaged me on one of my stories and said bonus, because she saw my income opportunity about the income. And so when you start these genuine conversations, those people are going to start seeing your stories, they're going to start following you. And then that gives them the freedom to feel like, okay, I can message this girl because I feel like I kind of already know her, right? Like we've had that genuine conversation. And so they feel less threatened to message me for more information. So this is one example. The next example, which I was like telling you guys about was, let's see, hold on really quick. Okay, so this is the one where I kind of cut straight to the chase and I didn't ask her a question off her profile. And my message said, thank you and you're so welcome. Listen, sis, if you're ever interested in details, I'm always looking for product reviewers that enjoy coffee, skincare, or lifestyle swaps for a healthy lifestyle, or brand reps that can benefit from extra income. All from social media. It's super fun and easy. If not, no biggie. Okay, so that leaves the ball in their park to either ask for more information or say no thank you. So most of the time people are like, yeah, I'd love to at least like hear the details. And so she was like, sure, let me know. I have a lot of time right now. And so I went in and just gave her a little information about myself and told her a little bit about each option, and just asked her what her goals were. And so this is just kind of how I start the conversations on Instagram. I feel like it's super chill. It's not like pressuring, and people just have good responses to that type of flow. And I message probably 50 on Instagram a day, and I message 50 on Facebook. I kind of spread it out pretty evenly. So that's kind of how I do my messages. And when I go to like initiate the message, a lot of times I will go to either my followers list, like I'll just click on my followers list and I'll go down the list and just interact on their page, like a few pictures, comment, and then send them a positive vibe message. So I'll either go through my following list, because I know that if they're following me, they're going to get the notification. Here's what used to happen to me all the time on Instagram. I was messaging people that weren't following me back. And guess what happens to that message when you message someone that isn't following you back? They don't get a notification. And what happens is it goes in this little pending file. And if they never click on their message, like message icon, they won't even know it's there. Okay. So what you can do if you want to message someone who isn't following you back, you can in the message tag their name. So like at Rewired Nurse or whatever their username is. If you tag their name in the original message, they'll actually get a notification like on their notification feed, which is super nice. That way the message doesn't get missed and it doesn't take forever for them to see it. So that's my other tip with messaging on Instagram. And then I was going to say one more thing. If you guys just want to know like what my day-to-day routine is on Instagram, I post once daily to my feed. And I kind of have like a layout similar to Gabby, but less, I do like every 6th picture is a quote, just because it gives it that consistency. So kind of figuring out what works for you and what you want your page to look like is totally like customizable. But one app that can help you with kind of figuring out like what looks good, what doesn't look good, is this app called Preview. It'll pull up your Instagram account, and then you can put pictures for what your next post is going to be, and you can kind of see like, does this look good next to this picture? So that's a really good app to get. Instagram tags is a good app to get, because adding tags to your Instagram post are super important. And if you have a private Instagram, I feel like when you're adding a bunch of hashtags, it doesn't really matter, because those posts are not going to show in the Instagram hashtag spotlights, because your account's private. So not everyone's going to be able to see it. So if you have a public account, really utilize hashtags. And what you can do, what I like to do is I'll post the hashtags in the comments. So I won't put it on my actual post. All I'll do is like comment the hashtags underneath my post. So that way, when you are reading my post, you don't see a bunch of hashtags. One way that I have noticed that has increased my likes on images is I'll tag the hashtag L4L, like L number 4L, like for like. And so there's people on there that I guess just go on this hashtag and they just like a bunch of pictures. I have no idea. And, honestly, like, it isn't genuine likes. Like, some of those aren't genuine likes, but a lot of times, like, just having those extra likes on an account, it's so stupid, I know, and people are all like, oh my God, I don't have enough likes on my account. But it does kind of boost that credibility that, there's lots of people interacting on your posts and liking your posts. And so it just kind of helps. So that's kind of my tips with that. And last but not least, for interacting, you guys, this is something that I do when I do self-development. And I think this helps boost my my algorithm. And I actually learned this from Kelsey Thornton, if she's on here. I just started doing it. So if you just like click on stories and just let them play through. When I'm reading my self-development book, you guys, I will literally open my stories on my desk and let it play through a ton of people's stories. Because when you're interacting and watching stories, or not interacting, you just are going through stories on Instagram, and you're seeing all these different stories, it's going to boost like that interaction on yours. And so you're going to start popping up on other people's stories because you've watched theirs, if that makes sense. So this is something you could do literally while you're in the car. Just open up your Instagram, click on a story, and let it sit in your driver's seat and let it play all the stories. Like, it's so simple. But that's all I have for you guys. Kayla, did you have any questions that you wanted me to like go over?
No, I thought that was great. I learned so much, like for like. That's hilarious. Yay. Oh my gosh. No, I love it. I think the positive vibe message is so amazing, because a lot of people are fearful to message, but that is a fantastic way to start a conversation with somebody and get them to go look at your profile. Because if somebody messages me, I'm going to go look at their profile. So I think that is freaking awesome. That's probably my aha moment for tonight. Okay, so I'm going to bounce over to Miss Erin, and she is going to talk about a little bit about Instagram TV, video, making sure you're putting yourself on there. And then we might go over a few minutes, because I do want to talk harder about adding to your network, because I know that's a huge question, is how do I get people to follow me? So when Erin gets done with her stuff, I'll kind of go over that. But E, I'm going to give it to you and let you just chat away.
Okay. Are you pulling up my thing?
I can.
Okay. You can do that. Just so that way they can see. So obviously, like Instagram, I've been working Instagram for a long time, and it's changed tremendously. That's why, Gabby, I'm laughing, because I really think we made that video in 2015. Like, it's old. But the funny thing is, essentially, they always make like different jokes and memes and stuff about like Instagram highlight reel. And essentially, like, when you look at somebody's like first 9 pictures, that's what it is. It's a snapshot into your life. And so a lot of times your Instagram highlight reel looks like good and put together and everything else. And I kind of like to think stories are kind of the behind the scenes, kind of glimpses into your life, because right here and now, like, every perfect picture is not perfectly posed. Everything is not always together. It's not always uniform in real life. And so that's why I love you kind of get the two aspects that are different. So I actually, because we've been doing a lot of research on IGTV and live videos and stories and creating content and all that kind of stuff. And so I honestly didn't make a live video and I didn't do an IGTV video because I didn't know even what to do. Okay. And so there's probably a lot of you that are like, how in the heck do I even do this? Because that was like the scariest part for me, because I'm like, okay, if I go IGTV and I have to create this title, and if you click it, I don't know if you want to click it, but you can see, like, you can create your own thing. But with IGTV, you actually pre-record your video, which I think is pretty cool, because let's say one day you get ready or whatever, and it looks like, and you want to talk about keto coffee and you want to make a video on that. And then you talk about the opportunity and you're going to make a video on that. And then maybe you want to just do an IGTV video on, something that you can bring to the table. And so that's a great like snapshot that's stuck right there. Perfect. But I think I'm literally dying and sweating at the same time. But I think what's so cool about this is when you think about IGTV or any type of video that you're bringing to Instagram, you always want to make sure that, you're either helping somebody in some way by educating them on anything in life. You can talk, I don't want to say like controversial things, but something that might be, like polar opposite things that people are going to have opinions on, or you might. And then also you can talk about like opportunities, so like products or videos. But at the end of the day, you always want to, when you're addressing things in your videos, making sure that it's something that is going to help people at the end of the day. You want to talk to them how they can work this opportunity into their life. You want to talk to them about the content, or even demonstrating how to use a product, because until you do that and show how it can help somebody day to day, they're never going to understand that. They're not going to see the benefit of using your product or joining your team until they know how it can impact their life. So what I did here is I learned this from Tiffany, because I was like, how in the heck did you get a picture at the front? Because obviously you guys would see, like, it'd be stuck on the screen with my teeth like that, like if I just put that on IGTV. So I went over and I created like a little cover photo, is kind of what I want to think about it. And when you go to upload your video on IGTV, and there's a little plus sign video, it'll actually let you choose the thumbnail. And so you can choose that picture, that image. And so you just throw that up there. But the cool thing is videos and stories are getting the most interaction on Instagram right now. And so that's the thing that you want to give the most emphasis to. And so I love it, because I posted it on Sunday and I'm still getting tons of interaction and messages that people are going back and watching it. People are going back and interacting. But a lot of times with Instagram, sometimes I want you guys to know it's trial and error. You're going to figure out, you might listen to this whole video and be like, okay, I'm going to implement all this, and you might not get what you want out of it, but I want you to know it's a learning process. And so, at the end of the day, your content that you're bringing is, how can I impact somebody's life? How can I educate them? How can I make this post, so people that know the 5 key things that I want people to know about me. So that's what's going to be on the content of anything that you're posting on Instagram. And then know that it's going to be a work in progress, because I think, like, I was just remembering like, oh, I probably should go and update my bio, because I haven't done that in forever as we're doing this InstaGLAM training. And so, know that it's a work in progress of different things. But, adding to your story. So almost treat your stories as if it was back in the day, your newsfeed, when we would post, we're like, you want to post 3 to 5 times a day, post 3 to 5 times a day on your story, because that's where you're going to get the most interaction. And then that one post might be what happens on your Instagram, but that's going to be like your highlight reel, your snapshot, because you want people to just say, oh, wow, like, I love this page, I'm going to go to it. And then stories is going to be behind the scenes. And I know for me, like, I just had a close friend. She was like, you know what, like, I love going to your page, and I know, like, you might have a picture like posed in the mirror, but you're going to have kids' toys on the floor. And so some of it is great content and photos, but then too, it's also showing real life things that are going on. Because I mean, if I'm going to talk about a product or I'm going to talk about a business, I'm going to talk about how I work this into my schedule or my routine, or how it helps me, you know, through chaotic days. And so that's what I want people to see when they go to my page. So, because I'm not picture perfect, I am not a blogger. I do not know how to do all the perfect angle, you know, like with arms and all that kind of stuff. I don't know how to do that. And so I'm not going to pretend to do that. I'm just going to simply be me and share those kind of things. And so that's what I want you to get out of this too, because I know you're going to hear, you can go back and you can look at our stories and try and copy some stuff. Some of it might work and some of it might be just tweaking it to figure out what works best for you. So that's all I got. Unless you want me to touch on anything else.
No, I love it. I think that was great. I love the fact that, you know, in Erin's, you know, you can see in some of these photos, like here's one of Forrest, and you can see that there's a shopping cart in the back. And then you can see that, you know, he's on his play mat. And then here's one of Finn eating his pizza. Like, it's not perfect, but it still looks cohesive because of that preset. And so that's why we love presets so much, is because it's not perfect, but to the eye, it looks really good because of that preset. But also, like Erin said, we aren't bloggers, and I don't want anyone to ever think that they are, like, they're trying to work this like they're a blogger, because that's not what we're doing. What our job is to do is to enroll distributors and enroll loyal customers. That's how we're paid. Okay. So we're not paid for having the most perfect posts out there. So what we're saying is, you know, by putting the non-perfect stuff out there, especially like in your stories and putting your face on camera, you're relatable. You have to be relatable. People have to feel a connection that if you can do this, that they can do this. And that's exactly why I signed up with Erin, is because I related to her. I thought, if that girl can do it, so can I. No, but like, I really did. I was like, I connect with her. She's like my friend. Like, I don't know her, but I feel like I know her. And so, you know, that's the kind of vibe that you want to give off when you're creating your content and your posts, is like, is this relatable? Does this connect with anybody? And so I think that's super important. I have been diving into a lot of Instagram like research and training lately, and they noted that it does not matter how many followers you have. You can have 30,000 followers, but if none of those people connect with you or feel like they know you, it's pointless. It's brands, and like in the, you know, bigger social media world, are looking at more micro influencers for people who have smaller followings, but their interaction is higher, because they know that when somebody comes to their page, that they are going to connect with their followers, and their followers are going to do with what they are doing because they connect with that person, because they're relatable. People can't relate to you sitting on a jet with your 10 Gucci bags and your Christian Louboutin heels. Like, that's not relatable. What's relatable to most people is seeing you in your real life every day. And so that's, you know, remember that when you're putting up your posts, that you are worthy. What you have to offer is amazing. This business is amazing. What we have with this business can literally change somebody's lives. You know, I've seen it before my eyes. So remember that when you're putting up your posts. I do want to touch on, before we go, how to add to your network on Instagram, because I know that's a big question. Is like, well, how do I get people to follow me back, public versus private? And first, I'm going to show you how I personally, and I know Gabby touched on the places and things like that and hashtags. You can look on hashtags, but personally, how I find people on Instagram to follow is I look for brands that I love. So I'm a mama, and so I look for either baby brands, toddler brands. If you're not a mom, like boutiques are a good thing to do. So I'm going to go to one of our favorite boutiques, Hazel and Olive, and I'm going to show you guys, hopefully it'll pull up, how I would go about adding people to my network. Now, don't everybody run and go like add everybody on Hazel and Olive, because then it would just be weird. But okay, so if you go, and I don't go to like the followers, I go to the actual photos, and I look at who is liking the photo, because I know they're active on Instagram. And I click on this, and then I'll go to, I hope I don't click on anybody's profile in this Zoom. That would be so weird. Like, I'll go to Mika. Like, she looks so cute, right? In her profile picture. And I'll be like, is this somebody that I would be interested in following? Maybe. And so then if she was, then I would click follow. And that's kind of how I go about, she kind of looks like she might be in high school, so I don't know. That's how I would go about following, is I would just look through the people who are liking the photos, and then I click the follow button. Super simple, right? Like if you're a mom, like Milk Made Goods is one of my favorite like mom baby brands. I do the same thing there. I just go to the brands, and what will happen is when you start clicking on these brand pages, other brand like sponsored posts will start showing up in your feed. And so then you'll have like more brands that you can go look at. But then I'll just like click on these photos, and there's 400 people that like this. So then I'll just go through and be like, oh, and kind of like just add to my network based on like looking at their profile and just seeing if it's somebody that I would be interested in following. That's how I go and add to my network. Super, super simple. And then as far as public versus private, so I feel like there's pros and cons to both. There's so many different ways that you can go about this. I was private for the longest time because I was building up my network. And so I was trying to get people to follow me back. So when I was private, I noticed that when I would ask to follow people, they would want to see who I am, and they couldn't see my profile. So then they would send me a follow request. So I didn't feel like I got a lot of followers back that way. But then I also like being public so that I can reach more people, like Taylor said, through hashtags or tagging things. So there's pros and cons to both. And I would just see for you what works best for you, honestly. If you feel like you get a better following back when you're public, or do you feel like you're getting a better following back when you're private? And you can go back and forth. There's nobody saying like, you have to stay private forever, you have to stay public forever. You can go back and forth and just kind of see what works for you. But I really built my following up on being private by creating that little bit of curiosity, but it does hinder you. So it does hold you back a little bit from the exposed Instagram world. You're not going to end up on the explore page of Instagram, which can land you lots of followers. So there's just lots of different things to think about when you're doing that. That's all that I had that I really wanted to talk about, unless anybody had anything else that they wanted to say. If anybody wants to drop a question in the chat, if you do, just go ahead and we'll just kind of sit on here for a minute and see if anybody has any questions. But honestly, like, you have to give Instagram like a consistent, persistent effort. It's not going to happen overnight. It probably won't even like happen in the first month. But once you make the commitment to start really working your Instagram, start really connecting with people, start really making a conscious effort to create valuable content, really start posting in your stories, connecting with people, you're going to see a change. You're going to see a difference when you start messaging people about the business opportunity, about products, or the positive vibes message, which I'm going to start doing because I love. You're going to see it start to grow and start to build. I've noticed just in the past couple of weeks, I've really started diving into Instagram at the beginning of the summer, even though I've always done Instagram, but I really, Facebook screwed up post to post for us. So I was like, well, I got to do something different. So I went into Instagram like head on, and I'm now noticing the reward for that effort that I put in. So, just make the commitment to learn. If you don't know something, Google it. That's what I have to do. Like, I have to Google how to upload a video to Instagram TV, how to add highlights on my, on my Instagram, how to add a video to my story, like how to do this. Don't just be like, oh, I don't know how to do it, so I'm not going to do it. Like, that's dumb. Like, just figure it out. Like, have a figure it out mentality. Ask questions on our team pages and Google. Like, it's your best friend. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you got some good tips and that you're committed and ready to start working your Instagram. If we find out there's more that you guys want to know, we can definitely host another training on more specific topics, but we just kind of wanted to give a broad overview of how we work our Instagram. So love you guys. Thanks for hopping on, and I hope you guys have an amazing night. Thanks, Erin, Gabby, and Taylor. Y'all are amazing.